Vince Cable denies all knowledge of Oakshott leader poll.
This is the GAP News at 10 with Gary Pendlebury and Bethany Davies.
Business Secretary Vince Cable said he had absolutely no knowledge of the leadership poll conducted by Lord Oakshott, though he was conceded he was aware of the other polls that the Liberal Democrat peer was conducting in the run-up to next year's general election. Also this evening, Brad Pitt hit in the face by serial celebrity prankster.
Soaring house prices, Help to Buy may not be the problem.
Nick Clegg shows Ed Miliband how to eat a bacon sandwich.
Good evening. Business Secretary Vince Cable said he had absolutely no knowledge of the leadership poll conducted by Lord Oakshott, though he conceded he was aware of other polls the Liberal Democrat peer was conducting in the run-up to the next year's general election.
His denial comes after Lord Oakshott phoned ITV News to announce his resignation from the party, saying the party was heading for disaster with Nick Clegg as leader.
In his resignation letter, Oakshott, he said Dr. Cable had seen the polling data that suggested Clegg would lose his seat as MP in the next year's election several weeks ago.
Mr. Cable said that Lord Oakshott was a long-standing friend and he regretted he decided to leave the party.
He said he was aware of private local polls being conducted by his old friend, that he had nothing to do with national leadership. Yesterday, Cable said conducting the leadership polls and leaking the results to The Guardian were reprehensible.
Liberal Democrat Party sources told ITV News that the several constituents are planning meetings to discuss Nick Clegg's future as leader, while senior party sources said, of course, a leader was one of the issues the party needed to address in the run-up to next year's election.
Brad Pitt was reportedly hit in the face by a serial celebrity prankster on the red carpet of a Hollywood premiere.
Pitt was at the event for wife Angelina Jolie's film Maleficent when Vitaly Sadyuk reportedly jumped over a barrier and punched him in the face.
Security staff quickly swept in and restrained Sadyuk, who was then arrested by local police on a charge of misdemeanor battery.
It is far from the first time Sadyuk has made headlines. On May 17th, he was reported to have been dragged away from the red carpet in Cannes after putting his head under actress America Ferrera's dress at the premiere of How to Train Your Dragon 2.
He was also arrested after taking to the stage at the 2013 Grammys just before singer Adele received an award.
He also hit the headlines back in 2012 when he tried to kiss Will Smith at the Moscow premiere of Men in Black 3, much to the former Fresh Prince's annoyance.
Targeted small-scale, essentially Bennigan, that is, crudely put, the Governor of the Bank of England's assessment of the government's Help to Buy scheme.
House prices may be rising too fast for comfort, but it is not clear that Help to Buy is the rocket fuel that's powering them. The latest set of figures do much to reinforce Mark Carney's view.
As of the end of April, 27,000 people have bought a home using the Help to Buy. The vast majority, which is 85%, are first-time buyers.
Help to Buy accounts for fewer than 3% of all transactions in the last 13 months, although that's up from 1%.
The average home is relatively inexpensive, 190,000 versus an average of 252,000, and the scheme is most popular in Leeds, Milton Keynes and Peterborough, where parts of the country you'd be hard-pressed to argue house prices have exploded.
Help to Buy was designed to help people who have only a small deposit to get on the property ladder.
Home builders love it. Mark Clare, the boss of Barratt, credits part of one Help to Buy where the government offers 20% equity loans on new homes, with a surge in the number of new homes being built, although we are not building anything we like the number we need.
Banks are generally supportive too. Most have embraced the scheme and they point out every care is taken to ensure that borrowers don't overstretch themselves. Interest-only mortgages are available. Buy-to-let borrowers are sent packing.
But for all its stated good intentions, a scheme which apparently has economic benefits has proved very unpopular with many economists.
Part 2 of the scheme, in which £12 billion taxpayers' money is being used to back £130 billion of mortgage lending on all properties sold for up to £600,000, is seen that help housing marketing could do without.
A year ago, the IMF, the OBR, the Treasury Select Committee all expressed concern about the potential risks of Help to Buy.
Most colourfully, Albert Edwards, who is in charge of global strategy at Societe Generale, called it a moronic property stands head above shoulders. Most of the stupid economic policies have seen implemented during many 30 years in his business.
Although he has gone rather quiet ever since the complaint, is the second part of the scheme is in a self-defence defeating that subsidising mortgages. Help to Buy simply raises a demand for the already inadequate stock of housing.
The logical outcome is that the prices rise in a way that benefits homeowners but not purchasers, who the scheme is designed to help.
And today's figures will shape the debate but won't end it, and it's likely to become an increasingly political.
The majority of people in Britain own the home they live in. Many are probably starting to feel the thrill of feeling better off, on paper at least.
Some in government may be privately very relaxed about a boom in house prices that continues into the general election, but if the Bank of England's opinion does shift in the next 12 months, if it were to come to the view that the Chancellor's policy was pushing house prices into a bubble and needed to be resigned in, then his government might find themselves in a rather tricky situation.
And finally, Nick Clegg ate a bacon sandwich live on air, saying it was unfair to criticise Labour leader Ed Miliband for being caught doing the same in an unflattering photograph last week.
At the end of LBC Radio's Call Clegg programme, host Nick Ferrari jokingly offered the Deputy Prime Minister a sandwich, who took a bite.
Clegg defended the leader of the opposition, saying, "I don't think anyone looks very elegant eating a bacon sandwich. I thought it was a bit unfair on Ed Miliband." And that is tonight's New Look JP News at 10.
Yes, nice new home this.
It is very pretty.
Coming next, the national weather and then the news where you are, but from Beth and from me, good night.
Good night.
And thank you for watching. Hello, good evening. Well, we've had quite a bit of rain on Wednesday, and I'm afraid that's going to be the case for the rest of today. We've had showery rain feeding in off the North Sea constantly onto eastern coastal counties into inland areas, but I'm glad to say that it will become quite dry by the time we get to Friday. So for the rest of today we have showery rain feeding in off the North Sea. Temperatures holding up pretty well though, around 16 degrees, and this will go on in the night. Best of any sunshine down in the London area, and parts of Scotland as well in the north will stay much drier here. For Friday, much better picture by miles. Much warmer across the board, Just the odd chance of a shower or maybe even a thunderstorm breaking out in eastern parts of England during the day, but this shouldn't amount to much, and most areas will miss these. Scotland and Northern Ireland again, also staying dry. Enjoy your weekend coming up. Bye bye for now.